Okay. So, yeah, we're not sure how long this will go. If you've watched video 16, I probably won't address it until a week later now. But video 16 just kind of craps out. It probably says it in the description. I'll probably explain it there, but in case you didn't read that. In short, a few weeks ago, I was checking up stuff, and it said that my SD card had been removed. I have had it before where it's done that, and it just basically just puts itself back. So I didn't really question it too much and just moved on. When we were recording the last video, it kind of just crapped out. And when I went to go record this, I was like, whatever, we'll just have to watch it. Record this one, and it told me I had 4 minutes of recording time. I was like, that's not right. So I went to the SD card, remembered about it. Went to go deal with that. It would not recognize my 32 gig SD card. So I was like, wow. So I gave it to Tammy to figure out while I was doing other things. And she then found one of her other 32. And it's like, you have to format it. She's like, okay, I'll format it. So she formatted it. It's like, it's blank. She's like, of course it's blank now. And then it's just like, what do you want to do with it? She's like, format it? And it's like, cool. It's blank. What do you want to do with it? And it would not recognize that it's supposed to be actually in there. And then she put in her 4 gig one, and it's now working. Which is not great, because 4 gig will not really give me a lot of videos. But it's better than nothing. And I'll just have to export them a lot more often.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to buy another one.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway. We're going to go over... Now I'm just paranoid. Yeah, I'm very paranoid. Okay, well, we're just going to ignore it and just hope for the best. So we're just going to go over stuff that people have talked about in other podcasts. So we're going to do this with the whole group, but... So, some people had indicated their favorite TV shows. So, one of them was Andromeda.
Personally, I haven't watched it.
I've never watched any of it either. So, this is also going to be the funny part. It's the fact that 90% of these, or actually probably less. It's more like, I guess it's 50. 50% of these I've never even watched. So, but anyway, Painkiller Jane.
No.
Yep.
Not even the name sounds familiar, so that tells you something.
Yeah, so I think what we're going to have to do is go over these again with the others here.
Yeah.
But at least then you don't have to be here for it, so I could do a late night one. Dollhouse.
I think I might have heard of it once upon a time, somewhere.
And these are the 3 that we actually do know. Dark Angel. I'm pretty sure you've watched a little bit of it.
A couple episodes.
I've watched all of it. There was actually my favorite female wrestler, Lita. She was actually in an episode, and that's actually the episode she's in is actually the episode where she breaks her neck and actually has to retire from wrestling. Then there's Firefly.
Yay!
Which,
one of the saddest lines that makes me cry almost.
That was from the movie, but yes.
Oh yeah.
Which actually is the funny part that I forgot to bring up is there's a guy playing RimWorld who's actually playing a Firefly-inspired RimWorld.
That's the
Bronco
Rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Power Rangers.
Do.
I was into Power Rangers for the first stuff, never got into any of the other ones.
I might have caught an episode or 2, but I was never, super into it.
Yeah, it was to me, Power Rangers and Sailor Moon both came in at the exact same kind of time, and where it was cool to watch them, and then immediately not cool to watch them. in my group of people that I was hanging out with. And yeah. The ones that I wrote down as my extra bit, I do not know if I've brought this up already. It's been so long since we did ours, so I was always afraid this would happen, and look, it's happening. Only 17 weeks in. Altered Carbon is one of ours. Season 1 was a lot better than Season 2. Season 2 wasn't bad, but Season 1 just seemed more coherent and more developed and more... everything that happened in Season 1, in my personal opinion, had an effect at the end.
Yeah.
Whereas Season 2, there were parts that were happening that just didn't seem as important.
Yeah, it didn't all integrate together at some point.
I want to explain it to you guys, but at the exact same time, I don't want to go into details, because I don't want to be spoiling anything.
The animated movie was also good.
Yeah, the animated movie was good. The animated movie confused me because I didn't know where it was supposed to be in the timeline of it.
Yeah.
But it's pre the movie, the TV series. It's like before he even gets put on ice, and it sounds like Netflix wants to do a couple of those. Which I don't blame them. It's cheaper to do it that way.
Yeah.
I would have to assume it's cheaper to do that way. Because you can get a movie out, which the shows are 8 hours long. The movie was an hour and a half. So already there, you're saving a lot of time. Second, you have to pay voice actors, which I think voice actors get paid half of what an actor gets paid.
Yeah.
Because and then you're paying all the staff just like you pay all the staff.
Well, yeah,
so
you're paying animators at that point.
Well, you're paying animators instead of like movie staff. But.
And with everything's going on, you can do the the animators and stuff can do stuff either from home or from a.
Oh yeah, but we're not even going to get into that. The next part of it that would be cheaper is the fact that you're paying the animators and not having to do the sceneries the same way.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay extras the same way. So yeah, it is cheaper. So I don't doubt that they'll probably do a couple more of those.
Yeah.
The other one was Ragnarok.
Ragnarok was definitely a good one.
Which I think the only problem I had with it was the fact that it was dubbed.
It's definitely hard for some people to watch because the mouth is not moving the same way.
But overall, I actually enjoyed it. I just tried ignoring their mouth as much.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was a pretty interesting story, and I'm hoping that they make a season 2. Which, from the sounds of it, they are making a season 2. So, and the other one was Witcher.
Yeah.
So, and they're going to be making a season 2 of that.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're going to be making like 6 seasons of that.
Something like that. It's supposed to go over the books and stuff. And
yeah.
Which I was trying really hard to read. Really, I was. But then, instead of on my lunches reading that, I'm watching Star Trek. So.
They also brought up Stardust as a favorite movie.
Stardust was interesting. It was definitely entertaining. The Blue Bloods were actually Blue Blood.
So, yeah. The other thing that was brought up was during our 007 podcast, which this is 10 episodes later. So, you can tell where I got, Anyway. Somebody brought up 2 people that they can think of, which is Baron Samedi and Mayday. I can remember Baron Samedi. I think a lot of it is because of the game. I mean, I remember Baron Samedi being a fairly tall, like 6 foot African guy with white skull, like voodoo mask kind of stuff. Kind of like, he's like a voodoo doctor.
No idea.
With a little top hat. I'm pretty sure it was a top hat. And like that voodoo, like kind of like that guy from the Disney one with the frog.
Oh, The Princess and the Frog.
Was it Princess and the Frog?
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah. With,
okay. And yeah, there was the voodoo guy there. He looks very similar to that. It's just a typical voodoo-esque look. I don't remember Mayday except for her being a woman, and I don't remember past that. So, yeah, you got me on... I should have remembered Baron Samedi, but I do not remember Mayday. So, if you show me pictures of like 6 different women and claim one of them is Mayday, I just nod and go, mm-hmm.
2 shows that I wanted to add, because I recently watched number 12, podcast 12.
Yeah.
I totally forgot to mention Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo.
But that's probably what I was actually thinking about. Because I think, isn't it that one, or is it a different one that I'm actually saying that I can think of a show for you? I think it was actually yours. But yeah, those are the shows I was actually thinking about for you, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The other one I thought of,
good.
which, funny story, I have not watched a bunch of the podcasts in like a couple weeks. I've just been so freaking lazy. But I had actually thought of an anime right afterwards. So I had wrote it down, which is actually Death Note.
Oh, yes, Death Note.
I don't know if I actually watched the anime. I know I read the manga.
No, we watched the...
I watched some of the anime. I don't think I watched all of it.
I was pretty sure we watched the whole thing.
I don't think we watched the whole thing. I know for a fact that we did not watch the whole thing. Because I don't know how it ends. I remember how the movies end.
Yeah.
I don't remember how the actual anime ends. And I do not know how the manga ends because I never got through that far. I was reading it through the library at the time. And when I was reading it through the library, someone other didn't have all of them or something like that. I can't remember what I was having issues with. But so yeah. Also, because you're one of the people, I'll ask you. Somebody in our one of our commenters said that they knew someone from Chopped. I'm guessing it's a contestant, so I'm going to already say probably we don't remember it. But the name was like, hold on, I'm just going to pause this. So yeah, I looked up a picture of him. Anyway, his name was Kent Rollins. The picture looks familiar, but the name does not. He was probably in one of the barbecue ones.
Yeah, which they've had, I think, at least anywhere from 6 to 12 episodes just dealing with barbecues. Not to mention they had their giant barbecue tournament. So he probably...
I think he was one of the tournament ones, but nonetheless, I'm also really bad with names, and I cannot remember a single person's name who's ever competed on that show. I remember food that they put on there. I remember certain things like that. But yeah, and not just that, but me and Tammy at one point, Tammy had so many Chopped episodes in reserve that she started watching it where she would just see what ingredients they actually had, would fast forward until they were done cooking, would watch the taste testing, would watch what the next ingredients were, and fast forward again.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible.
So, the other thing that came up was the Alien reboots. Now, Tammy already sneakily tried answering the person via actual YouTube messaging, which, shame. If I had a little bell, I'd be ching 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 ching, shame, ching 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 ching. I don't know if you get that reference.
I do, yes.
Oh, that's good. If you guys don't get the reference, I'm going to get Tammy to explain the reference, and then if she's wrong, I'm going to shame her again.
It's... I can't remember where exactly it's from, but I know that other people have done it, and it's where you do something obviously very shameful, and it's usually a guy that's in, like, a robe, and then he will clank the bell and...
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, see, that would be why.
Game of Thrones.
So,
I know that that's at least a large portion of it.
Middle finger to you.
Was Game of Thrones because the Queen. It comes out that she's been doing some bad things and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So she's actually shaved completely bald and stripped of all of her clothing and sent walking through the town. And basically, they're ringing the bell, this little bell while the guy walks and does that. I'm pretty sure that's one of them. Now, find out that I'm wrong. Let's just find out that I'm wrong. Anyway. So the Alien reboots. I think my first problem with the Alien reboots was its name. When Prometheus came out, I was so fucking pissed off they didn't just call it Aliens Prometheus.
Because it didn't, I didn't even know it was attached to the Alien series at all. I thought it was its own little sci-fi thing, and I was like, ooh, this could be cool, and then started watching it, and I'm like, it's an Aliens movie.
I knew it was an Aliens movie when I first was watching, because I saw a preview about it being an Aliens movie. I was like, huh, weird.
Well, la-di-da. Somebody was on the up and up.
But I also didn't realize it was an Aliens, precursor. I actually thought it was an Aliens, aliens were going to be in it, kind of like Predator. Aliens versus Predator kind of video.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be they had a little small cameo. Not that it was actually a prequel to all Aliens movies. I think my second problem with it is it doesn't make sense.
I don't know, I don't think I fully watched the movie.
Oh, no, you did.
I don't remember watching the movie, so.
You may not remember it, because I don't remember. I think the ending was just kind of fumbled. But the reason I say it doesn't really make sense, because if you actually look at all the Alien movies, with even Aliens vs. Predator and all that stuff, it's just... it seems weird. It seems like they basically shoehorned it in. And how somehow we started this alien thing. But I don't know. I didn't watch any of the other ones afterwards. I know there's at least one more afterwards.
Doing better than me.
Because it deals with couples.
Okay, that sounds vaguely familiar, but you're still doing better than me.
I think they actually called it Alien something. Covenant?
No idea. Unfortunately.
Okay, I'm just going to state for right now. If I actually got its name right, I'm going to be so impressed with myself. I'm bad with names and stuff like that, so...
2017 film?
Sure.
Looks like a horror film. Blah, 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 blah.
Anyway, the next thing is another commenter. I'm not even going to tell you if it's the same commenter. You get to be nameless, sir. Anyway, they were asking about a game that we played in the past. See, my problem is that I thought of a game and was like, oh yeah, it's totally that game. And then when I got home, I'm like, oh, it's totally not that game. It's this game. And then Tammy did a bunch of research, and I still don't know if it's the right game. But the game I think you're thinking of is Jade Cocoon. Or something very similar to Jade Cocoon. The other game I remember playing when I was younger... well, I guess I should explain if I'm right about Jade Cocoon or not. I could have swore Jade Cocoon is this weird game where you actually fight little monsters and then you collect them and you can mix them together and it's this weird freaking thing. But the other game I remember playing roughly around the same time, and the game I originally thought it was, but it's not, is Monster Rancher. And Monster Rancher was this game where you actually it was a PlayStation game and you could put your disc inside the game. And then you can go up to a certain guy and talk to him. When you talk to him, he can... you can take... basically, your game is in this limbo state. And you can open up your tray, add a different game to your tray, or anything to your tray. And it'll copy, quote, unquote, and create a monster. A disc monster kind of deal. It was... so you could So I went through every CD I owned doing this. But I think the original one he was talking about was Jade Cocoon.
Alien Covenant was the sequel to Prometheus.
Yeah. I didn't watch that one. And I'm pretty sure that one was like...
It was a 5-year difference in release dates. Prometheus was 2012.
The ending of Prometheus, if you can remember, it times... Most people yelled at the screen. Something was falling towards this girl, and she's just running straight. And, like, I think at like one point, like, everybody screams at their fucking screen, just fucking go to your left. Go to your right. Either fucking way, you would avoid being hit. But she's just, like, running forward to avoid this thing hitting her.
No, does not sound familiar. I probably didn't care enough. Womp womp.
Okay, so that's the rest of my notes.
Woo.
Just trying to see if there's anything else. I have thought of a couple of games that I want to play. One game of, they're like, not really games. I can't really explain it. I'll explain it to you, but I can't really explain it just by saying the words. One's going to be called Subtitle. What we're going to do is we're going to actually have one of our videos recording. Or watching or whatever. It might maybe be a smaller one or whatever. And we're just going to take whatever Google, or not Google, I guess it's YouTube. Whatever their default subtitles thing says. We're just going to take that. And we're just going to read it as if, like, you know, we're saying those words. So it's just going to be a jumbled mess of stuff. We're just going to make a small video about it. Because I was reading it the other day, and it was like saying some really weird stuff I know I never said. The next one I was going to do is called Hollywood Pitch. The idea is, I'm not sure if we're going to get you guys to help us with it, or if I was going to get prompts from the internet. But I have one in mind already. So I'm at least going to run with that one. Ooh, we're running out of time quickly. So, I'm going to quickly explain that and get that. The idea is the fact that we'll just have like prompts and we'll have to sell it to the other people at the thing, and they have to go yes or no for the movie being made.
Sounds good.
So, that'll be an idea. And yeah, this is already getting full. So, pretty much it looks like a video tops with this, so we're going to have to buy a bigger SD card.
Wah.
Because, yeah. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy.